Mr. Bean and the Dragon Eggs, Chapter 2. A very strange morning. Mr. Bean woke up one morning to the sound of something scratching at his door. Rubbing his eyes, he stumbled out of bed and shuffled to the door, half expecting to find his mischievous Teddy Bear playing a prank. Instead, he was greeted by an enormous dragon egg, shimmering with an otherworldly glow. "Well, this is peculiar," Mr. Bean muttered to himself, scratching his head. He carefully picked up the egg and brought it inside, placing it on his kitchen table. With a mix of curiosity and clumsiness, he began examining the egg, tapping it gently with a spoon. Suddenly, the egg started to crack, and before Mr. Bean could react, a baby dragon hatched right before his eyes. The little dragon looked up at Mr. Bean with big, curious eyes, letting out a tiny roar. Mr. Bean's eyes widened in surprise. "Oh, hello there. I suppose you're hungry?" He rummaged through his kitchen, pulling out various foods to offer the dragon. The little creature turned its nose up at most of them, but it seemed particularly interested in the tin of baked beans. Over the next few days, Mr. Bean and the baby dragon, whom he named Draco, became inseparable. Draco's playful antics and magical abilities led to a series of hilarious and chaotic adventures. From trying to hide Draco from nosy neighbors to attempting to teach the dragon to fly in the park, Mr. Bean found himself in one ridiculous situation after another. However, not all was fun and games. A group of bumbling dragon hunters soon caught wind of Draco's existence and set their sights on capturing him. Mr. Bean had to use all his wit and creativity to protect his new friend, leading to a series of comical chases and slapstick showdowns. In the end, Mr. Bean managed to outsmart the hunters and ensure Draco's safety. Realizing that Draco needed to be with his own kind, Mr. Bean reluctantly said goodbye, watching as the dragon flew off into the horizon. With a heavy heart, he returned to his quiet life, forever changed by his extraordinary adventure. As he sat down with his teddy bear, Mr. Bean couldn't help but smile, thinking about the incredible journey he had just experienced. "Well, Teddy, that was certainly something," he said, giving his bear a gentle hug. "Who knows what tomorrow will bring?" Mr. Bean and the Dragon Queen's Wings, Chapter 3. Once upon a time, in a quaint little town, lived Mr. Bean. One sunny morning, as he was tidying up his tiny apartment, he stumbled upon an old, dusty book hidden under a loose floorboard. The cover read, "The Secrets of Flight." Curious, Mr. Bean opened the book and found an ancient recipe for a potion that granted wings to whoever drank it. Excited, he gathered the unusual ingredients: a feather from a swan, a drop of morning dew, and a sprinkle of moon dust. After mixing them together, he took a hesitant sip. Suddenly, he felt a tingling sensation on his back. To his amazement, a pair of magnificent wings sprouted. Filled with glee, Mr. Bean flapped his new wings and soared out of his window, high into the sky. As he flew over the countryside, he noticed a beautiful valley with a crystal-clear lake. Descending to take a closer look, he was startled to see a magnificent dragon perched by the water. But this was no ordinary dragon. She had shimmering, jewel-like scales and an aura of majesty. She was the Dragon Queen. The Dragon Queen looked up, and instead of roaring or breathing fire, she smiled warmly. "Welcome, Mr. Bean," she said. I've been waiting for someone with a pure heart to share this secret place with. Mr. Bean, though usually bumbling and awkward, felt a surge of confidence. With his wings, he spent the day flying alongside the Dragon Queen, exploring hidden waterfalls and lush forests, and even playing games in the sky. As the sun set, the Dragon Queen told Mr. Bean, "Your wings will last until the moon is at its highest tonight. Use this time wisely and remember the joy of flight." With a grateful heart, Mr. Bean thanked the Dragon Queen and continued his aerial adventures. He flew over mountains, danced with birds, and even painted shapes in the clouds. As midnight approached, he returned to his apartment, landing gently on his balcony. As promised, his wings disappeared when the moon reached its peak. Although he was back to being ordinary Mr. Bean, he would never forget the magical day he spent flying with the Dragon Queen. From that day on, whenever Mr. Bean looked up at the sky, he smiled, remembering the incredible adventure he had with his temporary wings and the Dragon Queen.